Good evening, everyone. Good evening, members of Keto African. Good evening, lovers of fat crushers. Hope we all have a blessed day today. We thank God today. We are on the English section of the program, and there are some questions here with me that I'm going to ask Doctor so that he can give us some clarification. Good
Uh,
evening,
Good
Doctor.
evening and welcome today. We are here today to see how we can actually help guys improve on their health while eating our local native meals. So, as my dear wife just said, this is an English version, and she has some pertinent questions that she's going to ask me today, and we are going to look into these questions and actually see why we do what we are doing and how you can also do it so as to really improve on your health. So I'm listening.
Yeah, Doctor, thank you very much. Doctor, my first question to you is which one is better, bad fat or sugar?
An interesting question, which is better, bad fats or sugar? Yes, this question is a very big question. I can call it a multi-million dollar question because there's a lot of controversy concerning sugar and fats and weight loss. And actually, uh, which one can we eat? Because, like, when we say eat fats to lose weight, is like, how can you eat fats to lose fats? Because we know fats, many people think that fats is because we eat a lot of fats. And then she's asking which one is better, fats, bad fats, or sugar. This is to say that they are good fats as well, because if the question is which one is better, bad fats or sugar, I think we'll be talking about bad fats, we'll be talking about good fats, and then sugar. So, to answer the question directly, the first thing we have to understand is that bad fats is worse than sugar, which implies that sugar is better than bad fats. Yes, I know people will be like, what are you saying? But it's true, because when we go into our anatomy, if we go into the way that our body is built and how we use these macronutrients, because fats is macronutrient, sugar is macronutrients, and we also have protein, which are also macronutrients. These are proteins are the essential amino acids that we use, and then sugar is glucose, as we know, and the fat is lipid, as we know. Now, the question, which one is better? You know, when you eat fats, especially the bad fats like refined oils, like what we see in the supermarkets, those are very highly inflammatory on your health. They are going to cause you to put on a lot of weight. And how does that happen? When you eat bad fats, they help to stimulate insulin at the same time. And when insulin comes, especially when you combine these bad fats with carbohydrates, carbohydrates is going to stimulate insulin. Insulin is a hormone that is secreted by our pancreas, which helps to drive in glucose into our cells to give us energy. But when it happens that way and it comes in with bad fats, what our body does is, or what the insulin does is, it builds fatty cells with those bad fats. And also it clogs our arteries, is going to give us inflammatory diseases and many other things. Yes, on the other side, sugar is also bad. So the question is just like, there are two devils in the house. Which one should you send out before sending out the other one? Because you need to send both of them out. You need to send out bad fats, you need to send out sugar. But which one should you send out first if you really want to improve on your health, if you really want to lose weight, if you really want to stay healthy? First thing is get out the bad fats and then get out the sugar. So bad fats is worst. So it's better to get out the bad fats. And one reason is because many people now, they are uh, having this knowledge that sugar is not good, and many people are really trying to get it out, but then they don't have that notion of which type of fats that they can use or eat, so they end up just getting confused. So I think that with this question is going to help a lot of people to know exactly what type of fats that they can use. Okay, now the question, good fats like what? We encourage fats that are natural, which has not been refined. Oils that have been refined are very bad, and like bleaching palm oil is refined oil in another way, in a traditional way. Just the same thing like big industries, capitalists, they do it and they put them in the supermarket, or what we commonly call here in Cameroon brack, oils that you buy at the streets, and you call them granite oil, which is not granite oil anyway. Those are very highly inflammatory, and they are going to really cause hazards in your health, especially if you want to lose weight, or if you have metabolic syndrome, that is hypertension, diabetes, high triglycerides, and obesity. So we have to get rid of all these ones, and we consume good fats like avocado, olive oil, red palm oil. Wow, that's my favorite. Red palm oil is very healthy. It's not going to give you cholesterol. It's good for you, good for your body, good for your eyes, good for your digestion, and a lot of other things. So that's just making the difference. So which is better, bad fats or sugar? Sugar is better than bad fats, but both of them are bad. So sugar is better than bad fats, but both of them are bad. So get rid of the bad fats and then get rid of the sugar, especially if you want to lose weight.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you very much, Doc. Doc, and my second question is, what is intermittent fasting?
Okay, intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting? Usually, when we are doing our program, our weight loss program, or when we guide people to treat diabetes type 2, or people who have hypertension and other illnesses which are related to our nutrition, to what we eat, we try to guide you to get into autophagy using intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is to choose when to eat and when not to eat. That's what is known as intermittent fasting. That's just a summary. There are many different types of doing intermittent fasting, like 12-12. For example, if you eat at 6 a.m. in the morning and you eat again at 6 p.m., that is intermittent fasting that you have done and is known as 12-12. Some people will do 16-8, which means that you have an eating window of 8 hours between the time that you are eating. That's known as 16-8. You have 24 when you have just 4 hours between the two meals. You have OMAD, which is the most common and very, very effective in weight loss, and those who have problems like diabetes, hypertension, and a lot of other inflammatory diseases. They can really help. So intermittent fasting is choosing when to eat, that is having time to eat. And there are certain things that we do when we're doing intermittent fasting. Mark you here, intermittent fasting is not a religious fasting. So during intermittent fasting, you can drink water, you can drink coffee, you can drink herbal teas. There are a lot of things that you can consume during intermittent fasting which are not going to break your fast. On the other hand, when we look at religious fasting, especially like the Muslims, they do dry fasting, which is also a form of intermittent fasting, but it's you don't eat anything, you don't drink anything. But mostly in our program, we teach you how to stay away from food, especially skipping your breakfast. One of the most important steps, if you really want to improve on your health, one of the most important steps is to skip your breakfast. And this brings us into what is known as autophagy. So if you skip your breakfast, you get into autophagy, and autophagy is going to help heal your body. It's going to rejuvenate. It's going to create stem cells, which are going to actually help you, and it's going to push you deep into weight loss, which is actually going to help you to lose a lot of weight. Okay, before you answer the other question, let me just check my phone and get out this. Yes. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, next question. Yes, we can go ahead. Next question.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Doctor, and my third question is this. It is often said salt is not good, but in most of your program, you don't refuse people from consuming salt. Please, can you really explain this process?
Okay, concerning salt, most people really think that salt is a culprit, especially when we are talking about hypertension. But actually, it's not true. And salt is one of the most important electrolytes. Actually, the beating the rhythm of our heart is controlled by salt. Salt is sodium. and salt is essential for our health. We need salt. And another thing is you cannot overuse salt. It's impossible. Unlike sugar, that you can overuse sugar, you can never overuse salt. It's impossible, because as soon as you do it too salty, you won't be able to eat it. Yes, people will be like, what about having edema, or having a fluid retention in your arteries and so on? What actually happens is the ratio between potassium and the sodium, they have to be on their normal levels. Potassium is supposed to be 4,300 milligrams, and the sodium, which is salt, is supposed to be 1,300 milligrams. But when it happens that you have a low potassium, the ratio between potassium and sodium is mixed up. At that level, when they do an examination or they do a diagnosis, they think that, oh, the ratio between salt and potassium is not balanced. But what is the problem? The problem is low potassium and not low sodium. So what you need to do is to put up your potassium, is not to reduce salt, because salt has no problem at that level. Salt has not done anything. So actually, the only condition where you should be advised not to eat salt is if you have kidney problems. If you have kidney failures, or you have kidney disease, then it is advisable not to consume much salt, because you have a lot of problems. Otherwise, you eat salt as normal. Salt is not the cause of hypertension. Actually, what is the primary cause of low potassium is too much sugar. It's not salt. So when you consume too much sugar, it can lead you into having hypertension, because when potassium levels fall high and then sodium stays at its position, the volume of blood that passes through your arteries is going to increase, because it's going to have more water in it, and then the pressure that is passing between them is going to increase, and then it can develop into high blood pressure. But then if you can push back your potassium to where it is supposed to be, it means that the potassium and sodium ratio is going to balance out again, and then you see you will not have any problem. So the problem is not salt, honestly. The problem is rather your way of eating. When you eat too much carbohydrates, when you eat too much bad oils, when you eat frequently, eating like animals, every minute you are eating, snacking, and so on, those are the things that push you to have all these illnesses. It is not salt. So there's no scientific research that says that salt is a problem. And if you can consume excess salt, okay, then you could have a problem. But as I said, there's no way that you can consume excess salt. There's no way. So human beings, as well as the animal kingdom generally, they love salt. It's natural, it's good, and we cannot consume more than we can. So it is something that I'll never tell people don't eat salt. Even if you are diabetic, salt is not a problem. The problem is sugar. The problem is too much carbohydrates. Those are the things that you need to get out of your nutrition if you want to treat type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and the other things. The problem is not the salt. Actually, the problem is your eating habits, too much sugar, too much carbohydrates, and too much snacking. Okay.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Doctor, and my last question to you is this concerning palm oil. It is often said palm oil is not good, but according to you, you say it's the best oil for consumption. Please, can you
Yes,
tell
when we
us
look
more?
at palm oil, also red palm oil, most people think that red palm oil will give you cholesterol, which is not true as well. Scientific research shows that when you eat palm oil, it helps to balance your cholesterol level, because it has about 48 saturated fats. 48% is saturated fats, and about 52% is unsaturated fats. So it tries to balance it instead. And apart from that, if we go and look at the history of red palm oil, there's a bias that's based on this, because the orangutans in the Asia, like Malaysia, Indonesia, people are destroying forests, the habitats of orangutan, and planting palm trees. So the Westerners, they think, oh, let's discourage this by saying palm oil is not good, and they end up making people feel that palm oil is not good. But what does science say? Science says that palm oil is very rich in vitamin A, very rich in vitamin E, very rich in antioxidants. It's very good for your health, good for your eyes, good for your body, good for your stomach, tasteful in the mouth. And our parents have been eating palm oil for donkeys of years, and they never had all these modern illnesses. So palm oil, there's no scientific research which is unbiased, which says that palm oil is bad for you. Anything that you see is fishy, go behind and look who did it, what company did it, what are they promoting. But if you find out any neutral research on palm oil, they always come out with a conclusion that palm oil is good for you. So actually, that's why I promote palm oil. It's cheap, it's good, it's tasty. In fact, it's good for us. So as I said, if you doubt it, just go and do good research, and you see that palm oil is very, very good for you.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you for the clarification. I hope it's really going to help many of us.
Exactly, yeah. I really believe, and since we are relaunching this English program also, we'll frequently have English versions of our programs. While seeing if we are going to make a page that is specifically in English, so that we can attract more English audience. I know most of our audience for now they are French speaking, but with time, I know we have been having so many questions trying to see how we can introduce the English version, and that is exactly we are responding to your request. And as we have started, by the grace of God, we have to keep it going and see how we can even actually build a Facebook page which is English only. In that way, we can help a lot of English speakers to understand what we are doing as well. Okay, thank you so much to my dear wife. Okay, so I think let's check if there are any questions. If you have any questions, televiewers, if you have any questions, you can ask them. I'll just pass on the comments and see those. If there are any questions, then we can answer them. If not, then we are going to end this session. Mire Nadav, good evening. Good evening, Sheikh Mama Halima. Okay, that's sister. Okay, that's one of my wife's free eyesight. She's greeting her mate here. Thank you so much. Okay, I see that there are no questions at all, so we can just end it up since there are no questions. So we can end up and then we only have to prepare for another version. Okay. Okay, televiewers, I think that's all for us today. I'm so happy you people were with us today, and I believe that she will prepare more questions for me next time so that we can still have another session. And please don't forget to share so that people can actually understand and practice it, and it's going to help a lot of people. So we'll be cutting it off short today. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.
See you guys next time.
Okay.